What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. So look, this is part 4 of my R. Kelly review. This episode was all about the sex tape. Now let me say this. With age comes wisdom, and I'm older now. I'm experienced now. I see things through a different lens. And as I was watching this, it really, truly made me understand and realize how all of us were complicit in this situation. I watched the tape. I've seen the tape. I think probably 90% of the people looking at this video right now have seen the tape. And if you haven't, you probably didn't try to Google it and look for it. I was an adult when this tape came out. I wasn't a child. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, well, I was a child. I didn't understand. No. We knew whoever this young lady was on this video was not the age of consent. And we all watched the video knowing we were looking at child porn. Now, I'm not saying that we were looking at it for pleasure. I'm not saying we were looking at it and it was getting us excited. I'm saying that we knew we were looking at it because it was a celebrity sex tape. It was R. Kelly, and it was like, oh, wow. But what I'm not understanding, we keep talking about, why isn't R. Kelly in jail? Why isn't R. Kelly in jail? Why didn't the police pursue the person who sold the damn tape? Because here's what's clear. What I pick up in this video, and I could be wrong, y'all, so y'all know y'all gonna get me together in the comments if this ain't right. The young lady, what's her name? Lisa. Starts with an L. The young lady who was in this video had an opportunity to take the video. I'm just going to go by her version of the story. I can only go by what she told us. Now, whether people want to say she's lying or telling the truth, I don't know. But she said that she had an opportunity to take the tape, and she did not want to take the chance of the tape of her on a sex tape. She didn't want other people looking at it, and she didn't want it getting out. That's a valid thought. I could see myself being in that situation saying, damn, I let this person videotaped me. I don't really want it to get out, and it's right there. I'm going to steal it. She said she took it back to the hotel room, and instead of destroying it, she gave it to another friend who she was afraid, because she was afraid that if and when R. Kelly found the tape was missing, he would come after her. All right. If I believe her version of the story, whoever you gave that tape to is who sold the tape. Because that's the last we know of the chain of command of who had that tape. It was this third party. Now, you say that R. Kelly was going to pay them to get the tape back, and that they delivered the tape, and he made y'all take a lie detector test. Are you really? He made y'all take a lie detector test, and that you passed the lie detector test, but the other person failed the lie detector test because they had made copies. And R. Kelly said, I'm going to give you your money now, and I'm going to give you the rest of the money when you bring me all of the copies of this tape that you've made. If I believe that version of the story, then the police, when they got the tape, just as hard. See, here's the thing. You can do two things at one time. You can charge R. Kelly with creating the tape and being engaged in sexual acts with a minor. But it is also against the law to distribute the tape. Y'all get what I'm saying? Am I making sense? So why didn't the police pressure this young lady and whoever she gave this, because they never said a name of who, because they were right. You could find that tape anywhere. You could have bought that tape in the barber shop. You could bought the tape back then, we still had video stores and all of that. I think it was sort of winding down. But you could buy, everybody had a copy of that tape. One way or another, by hook or crook, however they got it, they had a copy of the tape. So I'm not understanding why that was never an issue about who put the tape out. Because whoever put the tape out made a lot of damn money. Now, I'm done with that. So, the tape, if we believe the version of the story that was presented to us, was a third party that the young lady gave the tape to made copies, and somehow those copies got out. R. Kelly knew the tape was out there. He was panicking. He was like, oh my gosh, what we gonna do? It's a tape of me out here, and I know it's wrong. In the meantime, his wife then had 2 kids, and the abuse was so bad to the point where she's locked up. They said that nobody, and I do remember this when the lady from the Post, when the lady from the Post was saying, not the Post, whatever, the Chicago Herald, whatever, Sun-Times Journal, whatever, was saying that the rumors of Drea being locked up and nobody ever seeing her, and that even when she got her hair done, somebody had to come to her, she didn't come out. I remember that because I remember hearing stuff like, I remember hearing about his compound and how his wife was on the compound. I remember that. That type of stuff you vaguely remember, like when people bring it up, you're like, oh, okay, I remember it. Come to find out, there were all sorts of... See, one of the things that people were saying yesterday, that all over the internet, was, why ain't none of these girls come forward? Why ain't none of these girls do anything? Why ain't none of these girls do this? Why ain't none of these girls do that? And come to find out, a lot of these girls did come forward. They did file lawsuits. They did go to the police. But their families settled with R. Kelly and signed an MDA, and therefore they couldn't speak on it any further. Or they had to give the money back. See, here's the thing. And I hear people all the time talking about, oh, they just took the money. Oh, they just took the money. Oh, they just took the money. The same way the internet is blowing up, and there's a lot of people on the internet talking about they don't believe these girls, and they just fast, and they was out there, and they was just hoes, and where were their parents? Why their parents let them out there? See, all them same questions that y'all asking on the internet are the same questions that they would have had to face if they came forward. And a traumatized 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old doesn't necessarily want to deal with that. It's very easy to stand on the outside of somebody's trauma and judge them on how they handled their trauma. Very easy. Very easy. But what's not easy is going to the police, telling your story 20 times to 20 people, most of them probably men, giving you the side eye, questioning every decision that you made, questioning every decision that your parents made, looking at your parents with the side eye like, same way y'all doing. And if R. Kelly comes to you and says, look, I'm sorry for what happened. I apologize. Here's $100,000. Sign this piece of paper. You know what? Probably 80 to 90% of y'all right now would have took the money too. That's what people do. They settle. You look at a lot of celebrity rape cases or inappropriate behavior type situations, and a whole lot of them have settled. A whole lot of them. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means that they took a different route rather than going through legal channels and going through the legal system that already is predisposed to not believe them. Same thing we did to Bill Cosby and his victims. Why are they just coming forward now? She ugly. I can't believe he would rape her. She ugly. Da-da-da-da. All that same stuff people was coming up with. If you were that person, would you voluntarily go before the people, the press, the media, the police, and everybody else and tell your story and let yourself be judged? Let your parents be judged? Let your family be judged? Is that the decision you would make? Real easy to stand on the outside of somebody's trauma and judge. I ain't even mean to go down this route. That's just where my brain's taking me, because it's just pissing me off when we keep finding ways to blame the victims. R. Kelly is a sick individual who chooses to have sex with women who are under the legal age of consent, and women who morally he should not want to have sex with. Period. In full stop. There's no but to that. There's no comma to that. There's no what about ... No. And the more and more I sit here and think about those lyrics to his songs, the more and more, forget about taking a stand because, oh, I don't want to listen to no R. Kelly music because of R. Kelly, this, that, and the other. Just the lyrics are making me say, he talking about a 14-year-old. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. One will go to my room of fun. Think about what they've been saying on these videos. Everybody said that R. Kelly had this little fun house situation, these little rooms and stuff. His lyrics are what he was doing. And when you think about, he's talking about young girls, forget about making a moral stand about not listening to R. Kelly music. I couldn't listen to R. Kelly music and make love to his music anymore based on the fact that the lyrics would fuck me up. Like, for real. Anyway, back to I'm sorry, y'all. I done went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. So, somehow the video gets to the press. And the press has to make a decision about how to move forward. And yes, there's freedom of the press. And yes, the press is not obligated to go forward in certain situations. But of course, when there's a crime committed, they must report it. So of course, they had to go to the police and get the police involved because they had done their research and identified that the young girl in this video was not of the age of consent. Not only on this documentary did they have Sparkle, who was her aunt, they also had her coach. They also had her best friend. Well, one of her friends, I can't say her best friend, but one of her friends, but her coach on her basketball team. And all of them said that was her. 100%, we know that was her, and we know at that point in time she was not of the age of consent. Matter of fact, we know what age she was at this time. So it's no question that at that point in time R. Kelly had committed a crime. Period. End stop. Full stop. The problem moving forward is getting the victim in that particular tape. Because see, here's the other problem. There may have been rumors of R. Kelly with all these other women, but the only tangible evidence they had was this videotape. Because it probably was 20 other tapes, but this was the tape they had. So they had to deal with the victim on this tape. And if the victim was not going to be cooperative, that's a problem. Sparkle said that she lost her family behind this because not because they blamed her for introducing R. Kelly to their daughter and niece. No. Her family stopped dealing with her because she went public with it, and they felt that she brought shame to the family. See, once again, we're blaming the who? The victim. That young lady was 14 years old. Caught up, starstruck, trying to be a rapper. This episode, we saw the sex tape and how it matriculated its way. Again, I remember that tape coming out. And I remember everybody and their cousins seeing the tape, having a copy of the tape. They were having special viewings of the tape at clubs and in different places. And I don't mean strip clubs and stuff. I'm talking about clubs, regular old clubs. They would say, hey, we're going to show the R. Kelly tape from 7 to 8. Doors open. After that, it's a part. Like, I remember this happening. I know people who did this. Like, I remember this. And in hindsight, I say to myself, we were all fucking complicit in that. Because we knew that girl was 14. Well, we didn't know the age. But we knew she wasn't 18. We knew it. So when we want to start pointing fingers, remember when you point that finger, it's 3 more pointing back at you. We all were guilty in this. And I say, why didn't we pursue the person who put the damn tape out? Because they knew that child wasn't of age either when they released that tape. They knew it. This is when we start to see the walls start to crumble, right? All of the different court cases start coming out about all the settlements he's made in the past with victims. And, of course, the victims can't tell their story now because they've signed MDAs. They confirm that abuse took place, but they can't tell their story. Or they risk having to give the money back and pay penalties, right? Andrea Kelly has 2 children by R. Kelly now, pregnant with her 3rd. She says she didn't know nothing was going on because they kept her so isolated. Said that at 8 months pregnant, he whisked her off, got her out of Chicago, flew her down to Florida, kept her secluded, kept guards on her. She ended up going into labor because of the stress, almost lost her child, and found out on the news as she was holding her newborn that her husband was being charged. Saw it on TV. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that there. Because I'm not going to question nor judge her trauma. Because again, I have not walked a mile in this woman's shoes. I know a tape has surfaced showing her singing R. Kelly's lyrics, talking about, yeah, that's my baby daddy. Battered woman syndrome is real, y'all. That's all I got for that. I'm not going to judge her. I'm not going to question her because I do believe this woman was abused and I do believe that she was put through a lot dealing with R. Kelly. I believe that. How she is manifesting, how she's dealing with her trauma, and her pain, whether she's been through therapy or not, like, I don't know. So I'm not going to judge that. Because again, it's easy for us to stand outside of somebody's trauma and judge it. The internet is saying that this young lady, Lisa, that she stole the tape originally to extort him. Maybe. Maybe. Again, that don't change the fact that R. Kelly had sex with a 14-year-old on video. Like, and peed on her. Now, you know, some people are into the golden shower. That's their thing. I ain't going to question that. But when you're doing it with a 14-year-old and you in your 30s, we got a problem. We got a problem. And then they said in the video, in the midst of all of that, he's still performing at the Olympics. That wouldn't happen today. See, here's the thing. One of the greatest things about where we are today is that the climate is different. They won't even let Kevin Hart host the Oscars because of homophobic slurs he made 10 years ago, and he won't appropriately apologize. That ain't about this video right now. But I'm just saying, because in this climate today, R. Kelly wouldn't have been at no damn Olympics singing I Believe I Can Fly. Not with no sex tape floating around and him about to be indicted. No. Not in this climate. And see, that's what Me Too has done. That's what Time's Up has done. Is it's changed that misogynistic climate that, yes, R. Kelly may have gotten away with this shit for a long time, but what I promise you is that it won't be easy for the next motherfucker. And unfortunately, we can't always right the wrongs of the past, but where we are today, that shit won't happen again. Not that publicly. No, no ma'am, no sir. And people say maybe this society, we've gone too far and we shut people down too soon. As soon as the accusation's out there, before it's proven that they're guilty, whatever, whatever. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But what I'm going to say is what happened there with R. Kelly still winning awards and still walking red carpets, and R. Kelly still out here performing I Believe I Can Fly, and churches still singing it and all of that. That won't happen to the next motherfucker. Nope. Now, I'm gonna end it there. That's where this episode ended, with him being arrested. I'm gonna end it there. I was gonna do this video last night. My brain just couldn't take no more R. Kelly. So I slept on it, did some stuff today, came back to it. So here's that. I haven't even watched the second episode, and it's daggone almost 6 o'clock, and the last two episodes is coming on in another 2 hours. So I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna watch the next episode, and I'm gonna see if I got something to say about that. Peace.